DogeCoin, the crypto that finally mainstreams digital currency. DogeCoin is one of a long line of Bitcoin slayers that may in fact mainstream cryptocurrency. Why do celebrities and business moguls like this one? Will it rise from the depths of crypto purgatory that it has been in thanks to some of the major celebrity endorsements like Elon Musk and Snoop Dogg? Or will this puppy be sent to the doghouse? Pun most definitely intended. Let's take a look in this video, and if you stick around till the end, we will go over the one thing that makes DogeCoin unique and able to be mainstreamed by the mass consumer market. So, lovingly, gently, tenderly, caress that like button for the YouTube algorithm, and let's get started. Welcome to Finance Squared. I'm your host, Derek West. On Finance Squared, we love to talk about all things personal finance, including stocks, bonds, and crypto. And it would seem that altcoins have been in the news quite a bit lately, particularly the Twittersphere. And of course, I'm talking about DogeCoin. It seems to have captured the imaginations of quite a few celebrities and altcoin enthusiasts, to say the least. The history of DogeCoin is well known by crypto enthusiasts, but there are those of us that may be trying to catch up to this craze and what it's all about. This coin, and when I say coin, I mean cryptocurrency, a decentralized currency designed to be beyond the power of politicians and other economic forces. But this coin was meant to be a joke, created by a couple of software engineers with apparently nothing better to do. I'm talking about Billy Marcus and Jackson Palmer. They wanted to create a peer-to-peer digital currency that could reach a broad demographic, well, at least a broader demographic than Bitcoin at any rate, which at the time, in the early tweens, was really just a technical spec designed for similar purposes, to be decentralized and able to be used by anybody, and also be outside the general influence of central banks. But Bitcoin appealed more to geeks and folks who are really into monetary policy. And that's kind of the way it is today. Was it possible to create a cryptocurrency that masses could truly embrace? Well, the heroes of our story sought to try this out, first launching the coin in December 2013 with 1 million visitors to DogeCoin.com. And with that number of buzz in the air, they thought that they might actually have something on their hands. And with all the attention that it's been receiving lately, they might finally be right. And what do I mean by attention? I mean the meme storm that has been kicking up dust around this old crypto coin lately. Starting with Elon Musk, who can be quite the troll, known to smoke weed live, and randomly declare that he will delist his most profitable company stock. And I'm talking about Tesla. He was followed soon after by other celebrity luminaries such as Snoop Dogg and Gene Simmons. Now, I know what you're thinking. What do washed up 80s pop icons and barely lucid futurist CEOs know that you, your standard YouTube denizen, does not? At this point, probably not much, but everyone is on a slightly different journey when it comes to their understanding of cryptocurrency. I have a whole video about what cryptocurrency is and why you should or shouldn't use it. Feel free to check it out in the video card above. But for those of you that want the quick version, the 5-minute version, not even the 5-minute version, I'm talking about the 10-second version. Cryptocurrency in general, digital currencies that is meant to be decentralized and controlled by the people, not central bankers, be they government or private individuals. There are various means that they use to accomplish this task. Typically a blockchain to store records of the transactions on everyone's device, proof of work or proof of stake mechanism to do the work of validating transactions as they happen, and apply them and add them to said blockchain, and places to store those tokens or coins or whatever you want to call them. Now there's much more to it than that surface level, mostly correct account. If you'd like to learn more, check out the other video on the topic that I mentioned a little bit earlier, or check out some of the other videos on YouTube about the topic. But the first coin that really took off based on this concept, and probably the most well-known, and frankly expensive at this point, would be Bitcoin. At the time of filming, Bitcoin is hovering around $47,000 per coin, quite possibly the most expensive commodity in existence per unit, possibly ever. There are folks who think it is possible that $50,000 is not even close to the ceiling of the coin, particularly since the number of coins were designed to be limited. And that's sort of what the founders of DogeCoin and others tried to counter with their coin offering. Create a coin that is more accessible, that doesn't end up getting hoarded by the masses, but used to do actual business. You see, one of the problems of coins like Bitcoin, and to a larger extent coins like Ethereum, is that they become buy and hold commodities, much like stocks and bonds, which in and of themselves is not a bad thing, as long as they keep rising in value and the people that hold them get value out of them. Real quick, something to note, that unlike Ethereum and its token Ether, Bitcoin actually does nothing else but act like a currency and more and more commodity. And a lot of people buy it and hold it and don't use it again. Why would you when it's practically equivalent to the price of a luxury SUV or an electric car? But in the week of the GameStop short squeeze madness that happened a little while ago, where stocks rocketed to absurd levels and just as quickly came back down to earth, some Redditors, sounds like predators, that is a nice coincidence, have been seeing an opportunity to help drive DogeCoin to be over $1 whole. But why DogeCoin? There are literally millions of coins out there that they could pick from. Well, all right. I suppose not literally, but there are thousands that they could pick from, and many more being added. Folks like MasterCard and Bank of New York Mellon and others are really starting to go all in on creating their own currencies, or at least buying some currencies that already exist. Why would anyone pick DogeCoin to be the coin to take them into the future? Well, first of all, it's still very, very cheap. It's currently trading at well under $1 at this point. At the time of filming, it's barely trading above a nickel, as a matter of fact. Imagine getting into Bitcoin before it went really big and riding the wave all the way to the top. That is what a ton of people are thinking and trying to recreate. And places like Reddit's WallStreetBets are still impressed with themselves on how they managed to drive the price of a couple of stocks through the roof and then profit from that rise. Could they do the same thing with a coin like Doge? And with major backing from power players in the business world and some noteworthy celebrities, could they be hitting on another major profit trend? Could this be your time to ride that crypto coin wave? All signs point to right now, right? Well, wrong. Let me explain why. Even though Bitcoin is really expensive, I mean, not in terms of value, but in terms of how much it will cost you to own it, there are people who think that Bitcoin is cheap, and you're a sucker not to go all in and buy some right now. The problem with this is few people can buy one whole Bitcoin and maintain a normal lifestyle. Sure, there are people who live a monk-like lifestyle. That's hard to say. Sure, there are people who live a monk-like lifestyle, such as myself, who could pull it off. But what if you have a house and a car and need to maintain all those things? Could you save everything that you have and put it down on one Bitcoin? Or maybe buy a little here and a little there until your Bitcoin holdings soon grow enormous. In other words, more than one. You could, and you must, if you're going to buy Bitcoin with a couple of dollars. And that is a common way for many people to start their investment careers. That's a technique called dollar cost averaging, which is more or less a way to hedge against downside losses by buying an investment at a steady rate over time, instead of plopping down one large lump sum. Beginning investors have to do that by default, and they are at an inherent disadvantage than other larger institutional investors because of this. But everybody has to start somewhere. I have a video on the topic and why I don't like it and what you should do instead, which I'm kind of talking to in this video. But you can see the full video on that in the video card above. But my preference is to purchase items that you can afford and grow with them. And that is why I and many other crypto enthusiasts have an interest in altcoins. They provide a similar opportunity to grow with them as all of crypto grows and cuts into Bitcoin's dominance in the marketplace. The thing is, Ethereum is also expensive, the #1 default altcoin that people go to. And not just Ethereum either. There are quite a few other coins that are pretty expensive as well. At this point, Ethereum is hovering close to $1,800 at the time of filming, making it about as expensive as gold. And then there is the gold crypto Pax Gold, which is exactly as expensive as gold. But aside from that, most other currencies are hovering at under $100. In fact, most are still under $60 per coin, and others still are well under $1, with some not even being worth a whole dime. See SiaCoin or Singular DTV. And owning those coins comes with its own set of questions, as a matter of fact. What are you buying when you buy a coin like Ethereum or Ether? It and other coins act more as initial stock offerings rather than as currencies, which folks are supposed to use to conduct legitimate trade. That in and of itself is not necessarily a problem. For example, it's possible for someone to purchase their Starbucks coffee using their shares, fractionally, of course, of Tesla. If someone came up with a way to not only trade dollars for daily goods and services, but also stocks and bonds, then I would argue that Tesla and quite a few other companies would be traded back and forth more frequently, as they actually would have legitimate value in and of that they actually provide goods and services to customers, whereas the US dollar technically does not. As you see, you can no longer trade a dollar for gold. And that, in a nutshell, explains the problem with quite a few cryptocurrencies. People would rather hold them, thinking that they will go up in value, as opposed to spending them with each other and trading them for goods and services. And that takes us to the deflationary properties of a lot of cryptocurrencies. When I say deflation, I mean the supply of the coin ultimately will stop increasing and will stay stagnant or decrease, which will be good for the people that hold them in the end, save them, because their value could technically be infinite. If people still want them when they're no longer being created, and people who have them never want to give them up, then their price technically approaches infinity. In other words, you can never get one no matter how much money you accumulate, which explains why people would rather hold Bitcoin than use it. And this is where DogeCoin is a different type of cryptocurrency. It is one of a handful of altcoins that is actually inflationary in value. Now you hear that and you think to yourself, that's probably not a good thing. Well, depending on your perspective, it might not actually be a bad thing either. A ton, if not most, of economists believe that a little bit of inflation is a good thing for any growing economy. It allows for more and more people to get their hands on the currency and use it to trade for those goods and services that we all know and love. Deflationary currencies, things like Bitcoin and gold, have a very limited set amount of units of themselves and thus cannot increase infinitely, limiting their ability to fund a growing global economy. There are currently 127 billion DogeCoins in circulation, with 5 billion scheduled to be created per year, with no ceiling to speak of, meaning the coin can grow indefinitely over the eons, meaning that DogeCoin can be the currency of both Earth and Mars and any other settlement that humans land on in the near or long-term future. And that is what makes this coin particularly unique, as it disincentivizes people from hoarding it and actually encourages people to use it. Will this be the altcoin that finally slays the Bitcoin dragon? Or I guess, more appropriately, peas on the Bitcoin fire hydrant? Probably not. Like I mentioned, it's hovering at around the dime level as we speak, but its ease of use, ability to infinitely grow in utilization, and support by celebrities will definitely cause an interesting ride. Other interesting rides include my take on cryptocurrency in general. Take a look in the video card above And also, be sure to subscribe and turn on post notifications so that you are alerted whenever a new video from us drops. And most importantly, remember, a goal without a plan is a wish. A goal with a plan and no action is a wish list. Take action on your goals by diversifying your altcoin holdings, by taking a look at DogeCoin. And I'll catch you next time. Peace.